the thing. Where's my pinned comment? Here it is. Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Here
Welcome.
we are.
Hello. Welcome to Between Two Nerds. I get to drive again. This is probably not going to last. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is Between Two Nerds. We are your source for voter registration news, information. We have our fun chats with our notable nerds and throw in a little bit of voter education and just fun facts and stuff. So hang out with us because tonight, and it is tonight because this is our very first late night edition. So tired. I have my nighttime lipstick on. We are going to be with, you know him from 12 Monkeys, the TV show, The Riches, the TV show, the Kim Possible live action feature, and he's also an amazing writer and a terrific human being, the lovely and talented Todd Stashwick. And I'm going to go ahead and press the button because he's here, because he's prompt, he's happening. There he is.
There he is.
Hello, my friend.
There they are. Hello.
How are you?
You just got smooshed.
Oh,
You got
God.
smooshed, so you got a little cut off. There you are.
I did get smooshed here. We're better now.
You're
There it is.
unsmooshed.
Ah,
You're
Okay.
unsmooshed.
How's
Come
it
on, my
going?
friend. Living the dream.
hi.
All right.
Look at you. You've got like your little quarantine.
My quarantine trim. Yo,
Mhm.
I went
Oh,
quarantine trim.
yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, I just got a little bored
Yes, you
yesterday.
did,
So I'm
sir.
like, I inspired by Blair Herter. Yeah.
You're working
You-
out,
you-
just, Doing the
Trying. Like,
Yeah.
again, different, same storm, different boats. So trying to keep this boat sailing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Have you been fairly regimented during this little lockdown time?
Yeah,
or-
actually, yeah, I am. I mean, aside from that first month of what is happening to the world, and that still
Fair enough.
continues. That still continues. I am one who tends to live in a space of gratitude, and I'm grateful for many things, and as insane as this is, and trying to adhere to protocols. I have my family here. I have work that I get to do. So yeah, like I'm employed and I'm playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons here in the Nerd Lair. I am spending time with my kids and my wife and FaceTiming with the family in other states. So yeah, there are people who actually have it rough, and I do what I can to assist those situations. But my day to day is I'm knock on folding table. I'm doing fine.
It's a nice nerd lair you got there.
Oh
impressed.
yeah, behold,
It's nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there.
Whoa!
it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Yeah.
Oh man, I know some
goes
nerds
on
that
and
got
on.
to up their game a little bit. That's like a nerd mansion.
Well, we had this garage, and it's LA, so I don't I park my car on the street because opening and closing garage, like I don't need to. And so we're like, well, what do we do with the garage? And I have been as you know, a con denizen for many years, and I am acquirer of the collectibles. I buy the toys, and so we now have a place to put them all. And then when I started getting neck deep in the Dungeons and Dragons, I wanted to create a home base to play and a place for my nerd friends to gather and roll some dice, and that is this place.
So there's a
The
lot
nerd,
to unpack
it's
there.
the nerd
So
lair. There's a
first, I
lot.
need to know, in the nerd lair, are you the dungeon master all the time?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. Well, no, because the man who shepherded me back into D&D after being away for 30 years was David Nett. And so my ongoing campaign, he dungeon masters. And then when I started getting back into the game, my daughter was like, hey, what's that you're doing? And she was 10 at the time. And I'm like, I'm playing D&D. And she's like, and when are you going to start, running games for me? I'm like, oh, I guess I got to learn how to dungeon master again. And, ooh, look at that. Old school. And so I had to teach myself how to DM for her and some other 10-year-olds, which is how old I was when I started playing back in the day. And then that led to me DMing for my friends. So I run more games than I'm just a player at, but I still play as a player at least once a month. So I'm in like 3 games a month.
What are the collectibles do you have like a thing, a particular thing?
Where do we begin?
Obviously, that would be a whole other show if we had to.
There's no one thing. Like my nerd heart beats for primarily Batman and Star Wars. And so I have a lot of Batman and Star Wars, but the nerd lair runs the gamut. I have Beatles. I have a whole 80s shelf. The Funko Pops. I have a Star Wars upright arcade game. It's just stupid. I'm just stupid. At some point, like an earthquake will hit, and in 1,000 years, somebody will go, who spent this much on toys?
There's going to be a lot, trust me. They're going to be like, whoever was this Funko person must have been a zillionaire.
Yeah. So I'm building an R2-D2 that's over there. Yeah, it's just too much.
Building?
I'm building.
Well, this is one of the questions that we ask is like, how are you kind of staying sane and normal during quarantine? And clearly, you're building an R2-D2.
I'm building an R2-D2. I'm painting minis. I'm creating and running a lot of D&D games. Oh, I have a D&D pencil right here. I'm creating and writing a lot of D&D games and running them on Zoom for friends. I've done a bunch of charity events that I've run D&D games for. Reading, video games, playing with my kids. Just doing the things that, as an actor, we often get stretches in between our times. And so I'm doing all the things that I did during that. It's just there's no acting bookends. Like I said, I'm fortunate to have a couple writing jobs. And so, yeah. It's good. It's good. That's what I'm doing. There's Allie Hillis. Allie Hillis just said hello.
I know, and TJ Fixman's here, and I'm sure Julie Nathanson is somewhere in there. And
it's somewhere along.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of cool people.
Guys, if you have questions for Todd, you can press the little question button below, and Allie says tee-hee. You can put pointed and embarrassing questions into the question box, and we'll put them out there. I'm sure TJ is like,
yeah, because TJ's got questions that he hasn't already asked me.
You know what? He might just want to do it for the class.
We nerd deep, TJ and I. We nerd pretty deep.
And we have other people that are absolutely thrilled about your nerd lair. People are volunteering to shelter in place with you, so it's legend. Doing. But I think we've actually also hit on a new MTV or the like show, Nerd Cribs.
Welcome to the Nerd Lair. Yeah.
Nerd Lairs. Just
well, there's only one Nerd Lair, and I'm sitting in it. But I will visit any Nerd Cribs that are out there to be visited. But yeah, because somebody's like, oh, nice man cave. I'm like, this is a non-gender specific nerd space. So it is for he, she, and they. All are welcome. All are welcome. If I can quote both of you guys.
Love it.
Yeah. How are you guys?
Good. Hanging in. This is what we're doing to try and keep ourselves entertained. Just I get to see him a couple times a week. We moved to, this is our first late night show because
I'm not ready
honestly,
for prime time.
well, because you said, do you ever do nights? And I was like, no. And then I was like, we should do nights. We could get Todd.
See?
Let's do nights.
Yeah, the
Plus,
days
starting to
like
get
well,
it,
the days are
the summer's
filled
ending already.
with
Everybody's going back to work on a semi-regular schedule. So it's like, we need a nighttime show.
yeah. I'm honored to be the first in your late night foray. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, I'm still. This could have vodka in it. We don't know.
May or may not. May or may not.
Happy hour somewhere. Right.
So
Exactly.
last weekend would have been Comic-Con, and
Yeah.
Todd, I know every time that I've run into you has been at Comic-Con. Is there anything that you miss in particular about going?
Miss the people. I miss the fellowship. I mean, that's like I can order toys online, but I can't order, the random encounters on the con floor. I can't the cosplay. Like that's the stuff like that. As Dennis Calero has dubbed it, it's nerdy gras. So it's this crazy bacchanalian festival of imagination and friendship, and the parties, the SlamCon, like that was one of my mainstays that I did with Derek and Bria and Dennis, and I miss that. Like that to me is being able to have this kind of nerd destination. Because look, I barely see anybody in LA, but I always see them in Comic-Con. Like we get back to
That's
LA,
what I
our
loved
lives-
about SlamCon was it was like a con within a con, so we always knew there was like a little safe place. And look, Julie Nathanson just showed up.
Huzzah!
Yes.
Hi, Julie.
Um,
I've known
yeah,
her for
I got
longer
so
than I've known
nostalgic
my
when you
son.
posted all the photos from
Well, I
various.
was trying to rekindle some of that and
Yeah.
celebrate it. And I mean, like, again, some people I've been lifelong friends with now, or con-long friends with, that I met at Comic-Con. Jana, I met at Comic-Con. Like, there are people that I did not know until I met them there, and it launched friendships that have endured. So that's the big thing that I miss. But again, I love all the pageantry. I love all the collectibles. So that would take the second tier. But yeah, I miss the whole thing. How about you guys?
I'm just waiting in line.
Yeah, cues. I miss cues.
I just
I miss Saturday evening or Sunday morning when Courtney is just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then she just
throws
She
my
just-
keys
she just-
to someone.
She just
Throws my pass
Irish.
at
She
someone.
Irish goodbyes, and it was like, where'd Court go?
done.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Cut to her driving past the 2 nuclear towers
Uh-huh.
on the
Uh-huh.
5.
Just cutting out
Mhm.
early because I
She's
know I have a
out.
limited time. I have a limited time. Julie
Yeah.
can attest to this, and so
And when
I will. My
Dennis and
anxiety
I,
will
the
hit
first
the roof,
few years,
and then someone gets a free
you're
hotel
like,
room.
I'm done. I would always go to the bitter end because for the first 6 years before I went with 12 Monkeys, I was going with Dennis with Devil Inside. And so I was sitting in Artist Alley for 5 hours a day, losing my voice, saying the same 8 sentences over and over and over and over and over again. You know? And so I would have to be there to the end because we were committed to the actual con itself, to being part of the floor. Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
miss
I miss
losing
the
my voice.
artists. I miss all the, like, my favorite is if you get to go early or staying late. I have stayed late in support of some of my friends. I have, breathed into a paper bag all the way till Sunday. And it's kind of lovely just to go through and have some time to look at all the artwork and all the creativity. And I hope that we will get back to normal soon because I crave.
We will. I mean, we will. If
You know.
like there will be life after COVID for for the majority of the world. COVID will end, and we will move past it. We will be irrevocably changed, but I do think we will get back to the things we love to do: concerts and conventions. And
We're going to start a new one in York. It's going to be NerdLairCon. There's only going to be like 10 of us. But I'm going to wait. You're going to come home one day, and I'm just going to be standing in line outside your garage.
My son just designed,
next
and
to
I'm
a,
making.
next to a velvet rope.
Next to a
Yeah.
velvet rope, and some guy that just continuously is turning around and hitting me with his lightsaber.
Yes, and seeing if you're on a list. No, my PR said I was on that list. I'm not finding you.
Exactly, and then I'll throw something and run around the back of the garage and sneak in.
That's work.
Some things never change, guys.
No.
It used to be sneaking into punk rock shows. Now it's nerd parties.
No, it's sneaking into nerd parties. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like those parties. We were fortunate. There was one party, and I'll just share this story because it's one of my favorite con stories. So I had about a month before done an episode of Gotham in New York, and then I had gone to Toronto to do 12 Monkeys, and then the 12 Monkeys cast came down to Comic-Con from Toronto. We had a panel at Comic-Con, and so we were invited to the Entertainment Weekly party. And we get there, and there's this sea of humanity in front of us, and I can't, it's just nothing but 20-somethings, and I'm not going to fight my way to get to the table, to sign in, to get into the party. I just didn't have it in me. And I could see some of my other castmates that already came early, and they were in there, but they didn't see me, whatever. So I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to push and shove my way through this cattle of humanity. And then some PR person comes around the corner, and they go, make room. They're like parting the Red Sea of humanity. And they're like, make room for the cast of Gotham. And they all start filing in. And they look at me. And I had worked with them like a week before. And so I grab my wife's arm and I jump into the Gotham line. And I surfed Gotham into the party. And it was well worth it because it was a fantastic party. And again, we were saying I've been in this town for 20 years. And I've done so many nerd shows that this was all the people that I've worked with on various nerd shows at one party. You drop a bomb and you would have killed pop culture for a month. It was crazy. At one point, I've told this story. I was having a conversation with Doctor Who, with Peter Capaldi, and I look over his shoulder and Harry Potter is dancing with Arya Stark. I was like, that's Comic-Con. There it is, right there. That's Comic-Con.
Yep.
It was the single nerdiest moment of my entire life. And that's...
I was at a Nerdist party, and there was a dance mix of the Imperial March playing, and Joss Whedon was doing, glow stick raving, and I'm like, yeah, here we are.
I call that nerd
how that works. Deep. It's nerd deep. Yeah. Got a nerd deep.
Nerd deep is
nerd and hard all night long. Yeah.
That's right.
Indeed.
So if you guys are just joining us, this is Between Two Nerds, and I'm Courtenay Taylor. This is JP Karliak, and that is Todd Stashwick. If you have questions for Todd, you can throw them in the little question mark box at the bottom of the screen. And we are also encouraging everyone, just our simple voter action this week is just head over to bit.ly/nerdsvote and register to vote. And if you're already registered, make sure you register someone else, which is hard to do when you're not in person.
Tell them. Let them know.
Right, absolutely. Don't register them
illegally.
without telling them. Right.
No, they need to be there. They got to sign, encourage them to vote.
Right. You can Zoom call with them and walk them through the process.
Watch them do it. Let's see.
Yes. And send us screen caps of your FaceTime or Zoom call or Instagram Live or whatever, where you are chatting with your friend, saying, "Hey, you registered to vote," and we will read these.
I'll send you something.
Those.
I'll send you something.
Yeah.
I will. I'll send you a present if you can register somebody to vote.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I got my son to register to vote last year. Do I get a present?
You do get a present. I will have to. You need to give me the mailing address of the Nerd Lair, and I will definitely do. No, I'm not going to get it. He's not going to give it to me. Okay.
No, I'll give it. I'll give you my address. Absolutely. You're welcome to come and social distance visit anytime.
And just throw
this was at the last election, and we got to register to vote this last election in 2016, before the empire.
Yes. Yeah. Do you? So I know that you've been a great supporter of NerdsVote. You've done some wonderful videos and stuff about the importance of voting. You've taken some attractive pictures in our stuff. Do you have a like voting memory, or do you have something like, what did you vote right out of the gate, like as soon as you turned 18?
I think the first election I voted for was 92. I think it was the Clinton. Yeah, it might have been, and it might have been when Bill, back when Bill won. That was the first time I think I voted in a You know what? I think I may have voted for Dukakis in college. I take that back. I'm gonna sneeze.
Who?
Don't. He was running against Bush Senior.
Yep, first time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that Mondale?
No, that was
Mondale was 84, wasn't it?
84. You're right.
Yeah.
Mondale was running against Reagan.
That's a history lesson for all y'all.
Exactly. You got to learn.
Yeah,
these,
so I was
these
not old enough to vote in that
people.
election. I was not old enough to vote in that election, so I was old enough to vote for Dukakis.
And so you were somebody who was like, yeah, hell yeah, from the beginning, or did you have to like kind of?
No, I was
like,
a theater major, so we were all very like piss and vinegar, active, socially active types.
So you sang all the way to the ballot box.
Yeah. We sang Woody Guthrie songs.
So beautiful.
I'm not that old. We were probably singing Indigo Girls, or Tracy Chapman at the time, or 10,000 Maniacs, something like that. Ride on the peace train. Yeah.
Stop it! This is like my
Stop
nightmare.
What?
JP likes to just bring up the Lilith Fair a lot, and like that's not my jam. So while
Well, you were a punk. You were a punk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was more like
in like a metal
The Cure. Yeah. I was not that, like, as I got older, those kind of not heavy metal, those rocker bands, the arena rocker bands of my youth, kind of junior high, like Zeppelin and Kansas and all that stuff. That is now, I hold it dear, but I was never into the harder edge, the Judas Priest of it all, or the Dokken, nothing like that for me. She's
no, you know what? It is hilarious because JP and I are dear friends, and when it comes to music, we're just like, what did you say? Huh? And so, so it's like the Indigo Girls, Tegan and Sarah, and all that stuff, and he's just like, and I'm like, okay. But
that was just the era that I was in. I believe I'm older than you, so I think the era of when I was a junior and senior in college, it was all about the Smiths and the Cure, and those were the Susie and the Banshees. Yeah, that was my era of college. Back in those mopey Brit days.
Susie's my girl. Susie's my girl.
I get it.
So I want to see your 80s shelf, actually, when this is all over. I want to know what's on the 80s shelf. I can show it to you right now.
I can walk you to it.
Yeah.
I can actually flip it around.
Nerd Cribs.
So we got some Pac-Man.
Nice.
Got some Peter Venkman. Got a Rubik's Cube. There's a Peter Venkman. There's a DeLorean. There's a Lego DeLorean. There's more Ghostbusters. There's an Empire Strikes Back. There's some E.T. back there. Another DeLorean. Labyrinth. And an E.T. back there. And then this is from, I think this is 90s though, Pirates of Dark Water. Yeah. So, and then below that is...
That's like some deep cuts, right?
Yeah, Pirates of Dark Water? Yeah, it's pretty deep.
The ET thing is strong. I had surgery a couple of weeks ago, and they put the light thing on my hand and taped it to my finger. And in a morphine haze, I was taking videos of myself going, ET photo.
Yes, you were.
Morphine, it's a thing.
I'd be disappointed if you hadn't.
No. So we talk a lot about voting stuff, obviously.
Yep.
Are there things that are you imparting stuff? Obviously, you said you registered your oldest to vote. Um,
Well, I encouraged him to. I didn't make him do it. We just told him the importance of having your voice heard.
do
Yep.
you
So
feel
yeah,
like
there was more
as
to that question. Sorry.
no? Do you feel like as an actor, um, do you have any reservations about talking on like social media and things like that? Are you like I'm somebody that's like I can't
Well, I'm a
care about
person
it.
first. I'm a person first, and just because my profession happens to be acting. I mean, it's like because a lot of people go just stick to entertainment, shut your mouth, and I get that. But it's like I see everybody from every walk of life sharing their views. Whether you're a plumber, I look askance on no career. I think people it gets confusing for people because they just want you to kind of entertain them on their TV and not actually have it. Maybe it breaks an illusion for them, or they disagree with you politically, and somehow that's spoiling the show that they like you on. Um, although most of the shows that I've done a lot of would tend to agree with my political stance. It's one of those things where I was like somebody was coming at me, or I was seeing something, and there was a very anyway, I'm not gonna get too specific, but I was like, you did see Star Wars, right? Because they were the bad guys, and they were acting the way these people are acting now, but you're kind of supporting these people, but you say you love Star Wars. Did you not let the message in? Because you know, so without getting too specific, but I do run into that where people don't want me to share my opinion. But again, I'm a person first, and I have an opinion, and my vote is just as valid as anybody else's vote. And if I have a platform to raise awareness for issues that I feel are important, that's what social media is for. I mean, other people post what they want, so I go, I shouldn't have less of a voice because I maybe have more people listening. I don't know.
I
What do you
love that. I'm writing that down. That's a great quote. Do you have
I'm filled with them.
do you have
Do I have
other
what?
like causes and nonprofits or things that you like to support on top
Well,
of
we are members of the
opinions?
ACLU. We are
Uh-huh.
members of the ACLU, and I think like uh, ongoing support. My wife and I, we support a lot of conservation issues, like in terms of like supporting tree planting and stuff for the environment. I'm very much an advocate for background checks, and one of the things with guns, having a young daughter who goes to public school, and know that's a hazard to a lot of children. Um, so I'm an advocate for background checks and other gun laws. Um, but I'm not coming for your guns. I just think we shouldn't have, I don't know, military grade weapons in the hands of the populace. That's just me. Um, there's, and then obviously when certain crises raise their heads, when there's hurricanes in areas that suddenly hit and they need an influence of or an influx of immediate emergency relief, we're very much on top of that. But I do have my ongoing things that I concern myself with. Yes, absolutely.
Julie wrote it down for me. Thank you, Julie. You have your wonderful quote will be
She is a
shot across the internet.
scribe. She is a
She is
scribe.
just quite the scribe. So, on that note of scribing,
Yes.
are you scribing on anything that you can talk about? I hate
I am
being the person to
I can't,
ask this because I
well,
don't know if you can talk
I'm
about it.
writing I'm writing on a video game that I can't talk about. I'm also getting to work. I'm doing some contract work with our dear old friend Amy Hennig, and so I'm working with her on her next venture. And so I'm always excited to be partnering with her on any capacity that she needs me for, and I'm happy to throw in my voice. And I just love working with her. I've been fortunate to work with her on a few projects now, and so that is a partnership that I am continually grateful for, and happy with the work that comes out of it. Like I'm pleased and proud of the things that she and I have been able to work on, whether they've been able to come to the light of day, as these things go, but the process is what counts, and I've had some amazing experiences working with her, and I'm pleased to be continuing working with her, even in whatever capacity I can right now.
Did you guys meet at a convention, or did you meet in the conventional way?
No, so Amy and I met.
And for those of you who don't know, explain who Amy is.
So Amy Hennig is a creative director who created an obscure little title called Uncharted, and so so Nolan North and I had done. We had worked together on a film years ago called Surfer Dude, and my boy just waved in. He's going for a run. So I had known Nolan for a few years, but then I just got a call from. It's one of those wonderful moments where you get a call from your agent, and they go, they want to see you for this project, but it's called like Project Dumbo, and you're like, oh, it's code name for a video game, and it's like, you'll be meeting with Amy Hennig, and you'll be reading with Nolan North. I'm like, okay, I think I know what this is. So I basically went into audition for Uncharted 4, and read with Nolan, and then I was hired as Sam, who was Nathan Drake's brother, in one iteration of Uncharted, and then sands neath our feet shifted, and no longer involved with that project, but I was fortunate to have developed a very good friendship with Amy, and a very great collaborative language. We spoke the same language. We both she talks about 1977 being this seminal year for her because it was Star Wars, The Hobbit, and Atari. And if you go, wow, that's so much of what she went on to do, but it's also so much of what I went on to do, because it's also, Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons, The Hobbit, and Atari were all 1977 for Amy. And so I'm like, we cross over a lot. Like, I am of that Spielberg generation, so we had a very strong shorthand with each other. And I see we're getting a lot of love from Julie Nathanson right now. Mm-hmm. And so then the opportunity came along for us, for her to go over, and I was writing a comic at the time, Devil Inside, with Dennis Claro, and I was just sold a pilot to the Sci-Fi Channel with Dennis, which was an outer space adventure called Clandestine, and like a space opera, fun, rompy space opera in the spirit of Star Wars. This is pre-Guardians of the Galaxy. But we wanted to get back because everything had gone kind of Battlestar Galactica gritty for a while, and we were like, we want that big fun space romp like Star Wars was. And so I was writing that at the time, and then Amy went over to Visceral to be the creative director of the new Star Wars game they were working on, and she's like, do you want to come over and co-write this? And I'm like, what, have you read my dream journal? Like, that's all I want to do. And so so then I went and joined her and worked on that project for 3 years. And again, as things go, often projects begin, but they don't end exactly the way you'd want them to. But they were experiences that I would never trade. I've been to Skywalker Ranch. I've been drunk on Skywalker wine. I've been in the archives. So like just those experiences and being able to carve out a space in the Star Wars family it was just a delight and an honor and something I will always cherish. And my relationship, both friendship and collaborations with Amy, continue. So that's my short story.
It's the gift
But yeah, I
that
met her
keeps
in
on giving.
2013. Yeah, I met her in 2013. So that long ago.
See, kids, don't skip auditions. You never
Because you
know
never know,
what will
especially
happen.
ones with Amy Hennig and Nolan North.
Exactly. And Nolan North, whoever he is. Kidding. I actually used to teach boxing at the ranch.
That's a
randomly.
treat. That's a treat.
Before I moved to Los Angeles, and I would go in there and I would teach, because they had like lunchtime fitness classes, and I would go in and I would teach boxing to some people in their little gym situation. And I remember like touching
I've worked
everything I
out
could
in that gym.
leaving my greasy little fingerprints all over everything and being like, Sunday. And then, I mean, I never went back to the ranch, but I did end up getting to voice a Jedi. So
There
I
you
feel
go.
like I had some mojo on
That
greasy
counts.
little paws.
That counts.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, it's a big deal.
That's great.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah, here I was joking the other day. I was watching my family and I. You're during the bunker viewings as we're like burning through series of movies and television and whatnot. So we jumped on Indiana Jones, and they were lifting the Ark out and they were treating this holy relic, and I was like laughing. I go, what's funny is India's treating the Ark because it's this holy biblical relic, but we fans treat the Ark prop as a holy relic of our quote unquote nerdy religion, where I go, I have been to the temple, I have seen the Ark, I have, like Han's blaster, like these are holy relics to me. And I thought it was funny that, the irony of it all. Yeah.
Is the MacGuffin, and the MacGuffin has a lot of sacredness around it.
So fun. So fun.
So we have a little election coming up.
Yeah.
It's a teeny one.
Not big.
And one of the things that we like to ask people is, this November, who are you voting for? Not the candidate.
Joe Biden. That's who I'm voting for.
But
you asked.
Who are the people that you have in mind that you want that vote to affect?
Oh, who am I supporting? I don't know.
It's kind of a trick question, unless you want to tell us that you are going to vote for Joe.
Yeah, no, I'm voting for Joe Biden.
It's more about, like, when you're thinking about who you want to vote for, who are the people that you want the government to be able to help or to support or to what changes?
I mean, I don't know if that's one answer. It's obviously like, I'm voting to protect the Supreme Court. I'm voting because I have a 12-year-old girl. That's who I'm voting for. I'm voting for her future. I'm voting for my son's future and the environment and climate and her rights and the rights of LGBTQ. Like I'm voting for, like, all the people, again, that I'm voting for the people that have not had a voice as much as they need one. Like I have been fortunately well represented in America, being a straight white dude. Those bases are covered in so many ways that it's not me that I have to vote to protect right now. I have to vote to protect my daughter, and I have to vote to protect LGBTQ, and I have to vote to protect Black Lives Matter, and I have to vote to protect the Supreme Court and the environment. That's who I'm voting for. Kind of, I don't know, all of us? That's who I'm voting for. And Joe Biden.
And also Joe Biden.
And also Joe Biden.
TLDR. Yeah. No, I mean, that's the reason that we ask it is we don't talk about politicians and parties, but we do.
But your guests
We do
can.
have the importance of sharing our values and the reason what gets us out of bed and brings us to the polls. That voting is so important, and we have to do it every election. And I think I know Courtenay and I feel that the values that we're able to share not only with each other but with the fans and all the people out there who do is it's important. It's important to kind of share these things with other people so that they start to be like, oh, actually, I haven't voted before, but you know what? Those are things that are important to me, and for some reason, I've never put that together. That those might I might be able to make change that way. So
there's a fundamental thing that it's
from other people.
It's the we in the people that I'm voting for. It's not me, the people, it's we. And so I think the people that I support in the executive and legislative throw their arms around a wider swath of Americans, and those that they go, these are Americans too. We're all Americans, as opposed to what I've seen is the me, the people. How is this affecting me personally? And I go, well, yeah. If I view that way, I go, but rising tides lift all boats. So if we do support those, how you treat the least of us is how you treat us all, right? And so we need to be taking care of the previously voiceless. Like, that's who we need to be taking care of, because there was something that's really come to light during this pandemic, which is this notion that just because it's not happening to me doesn't mean it's not happening. I was having conversations today where people are like going, I think we should reopen. And then I have a friend in Florida, in Broward County, going, guys, you don't understand. Like, it's happening to this community. We are beyond capacity. We need to take care of this. But I'm grateful that it's not hit your community wherever you are in your part of the country. But it doesn't mean it's not happening. It doesn't mean that we get lazy. We have to think of those outside of our bubble and those outside of our mirrors and those outside of ourselves and take care of we, the people. And to me, there are very clear lines of voting that say these people will take care of we, the people, and these people less.
I'm always intrigued to hear what people have to say. I don't have kids, but I'm very interested to see what's going on with the, sending kids back to school, and who wants to send kids back to school, and do they have school-age children that go to public school? Because there is, I'm always looking for people who are not doing the do as I say, not as I do, or you do it, but we'll do something different, because I want to hear from people. I mean, just because I don't have kids doesn't mean I'm not completely
concerned, because
I mean, yeah. And I have, all my friends have kids, and it's a huge concern, but the people that I see that are saying like it's safe to go back to school just don't have children that are in that position. And that's what I'd love to see more of, is some representation of, people who are gay or LGBTQ, or just have someone in their family, that are at least like a person away from it. If we can't have, and we
Dick
should have,
Cheney. Dick Cheney changed his views on gay marriage.
When it hits home, and I've watched certain senators who didn't, back certain healthcare plans, only when like their grandmother's insurance ran out did they change their tune. And I hope for, that this pandemic will make us, for the majority of us, more empathetic. That we don't have someone in our family die, that you don't have to get COVID to understand that it's real. And I have a sister who works in healthcare, and in her medical office, people come to the door and she's constantly having to go to the door and say, you have to you have to go and get a mask on and wait in your car, and people are mad about it. And it's like, for me, I go, hey, guys, my sister's going home to my mom. Like, that's who, like, just connect the dots. It's not about necessarily my sister or the person at the door who's healthy or not. It's who they're going home to, who they have to take care of.
Yeah,
and I'm not brown nosing because my mom is watching, but.
Well, I think the key to all of it is, like you said, the key to all of it is empathy, right? If we can truly look through someone else's eyes and see the experiences that they have and have gone through, that can change our views dramatically. And so, getting back to our profession, story is an opportunity to see the world through somebody else's eyes, to field test an emotion that we might not experience. But then I watch something like Schindler's List, and I see characters go through the Holocaust, and I go, oh, that touches me. I see how they are with their children, and I connect to them, and that's what's going to save us is the ability to go, oh right, yeah, I don't know what it's like to be a refugee. I don't know what that's like. But I know what it's like to love my daughter, and I can imagine what it's like to have to run from a war-torn country and try to get them to a safe place. And so, wow, maybe I can feel for somebody. And often, we as artists, our job is to, once again, give voice to the voiceless, to create stories that people can live vicariously through, and then build empathy towards people that they might not normally, because that's going to save us.
And just to briefly touch on that, we had, and we've been referencing it a lot, but it was a really powerful interview. We had the creator of Steven Universe on the show, Rebecca Sugar, with her husband, Ian Jones-Quartey, who created OKKO. And they were talking about, constantly I'm dealing with people all the time that are like, it doesn't matter who's in office, it doesn't matter about politics. But if you take in media, our whole conversation was that, laws dictate a lot of material that you can see. So in Steven Universe, because gay marriage passed, there was no way that they could sort of soft pedal. They had to put in, when they proposed putting in gay marriage, same-sex relationships and stuff, that legally they couldn't say like, well, it's illegal, we can't really put that in there. That law dictated storylines in Steven Universe.
And then normalizes human experience for children, where they go, that doesn't feel like other. I grew up with them. Like, I grew up with an uncle who had a husband. So it was always normalized to me since I was having memories since the 70s. So it never seemed like, well, what do you mean they can't get married? What do you mean? I didn't understand that it wasn't legal because that was his husband. They had wedding rings. Like, so to me, it always was legal. And then when I went, hang on, I had to like retcon and realize, oh, my experience was this limited. And I was a theater major. So I was often in departments that were filled with multicultural, multi-experience, people of many different genders, persuasions, and identities. And so it was normalized to me. And this was even growing up in the Midwest. But then you get up and you go, oh, right, that isn't the general consensus, and that isn't the way the laws are shaped right now. Yeah, that needs to change, folks. But I was lucky that at an early age, I saw it as human love, an expression of human love. So why are we treating it as if it's other? And so shows like Steven Universe allow, when my daughter was first watching it, to not even see it as something that is extraordinary. All love is extraordinary. So you just go, no, this is yet another version, and normalized for her in the best way.
Yeah, and I hope that people will take that knowledge and start to apply, like, when people say like, oh, laws don't matter, or, elections don't matter, or they don't vote locally and things, this is where stuff really does hit home for us is when it's dictating what kind of media you can and can't see. When people are still burning books. You know, who dictates what your kids get to read in schools, and you know, there are so many just like lifelines to what I know. It seems so sort of abstract sometimes when we're in a presidential election year, and it's, you know, sort of on high, and it's one person against another person, but that's the ones that people get excited about. And if we can also just kind of acknowledge that the closer it gets to home, the closer it gets to home. And it's so important to pay attention to those, not just the presidential stuff and the state stuff, but also here at home. You know, who's teaching your kids? What kind of public transportation do you have? What roads do you drive on? Who's sitting on as a judge?
It matters. Yeah, it matters.
Happy Film Man says, main goal of 2020, survive just to vote.
Amen.
Hopefully for more.
I'm in for that.
But yes.
Yes.
Don't get sick before November. Just, don't get sick.
Get sick. If you get sick, mail in your ballot. Mail in your vote.
Yes. Yes. So do you do mail-in ballots?
Yeah.
Because I know you act, and so you're all over the place, yeah?
Yeah, I do. And I also just, I do it a week or two before the election. I just like to know it got in there. I'm not worried about machines at all. That's just me. I do trust the voting machines. I do trust. I'm not one of these conspiracy people. I trust for the most part our system. I do think there is issues that need to be tended to. I do believe gerrymandering is an issue. I do believe that there is foul play. But I like being able to sit there with the book and my laptop and doing my research and doing as opposed to that, there's somebody behind you. Now I do the joy of pulling the curtain and then slapping the sticker. There's something really, the theater of that is very rewarding. But I do vote through mail from home for all the reasons I listed.
And you brought up a really good point too, especially with this year, with all the turmoil going on at the post office. If you are able, people that are watching this, if you are voting from home, voting by mail, it's really important to get your ballots in early this year because mail is slower with COVID and everything else. So, you know, please, if you're not the 13% that are undecided, get out there, slap that puppy in the mail.
How?
Maybe they're just coy. Maybe they just don't want to answer questions. I don't know. But
why? Sell yourself to me.
But if you are not registered to vote, or you have friends that are not registered to vote, please check out our link and just pop on our bit.ly and get registered. And again, if you want to show me that you're registering, folks, I'll send you some free swag. We'll give you a tour of the nerd lair. Right, Todd?
I'll do a virtual nerd lair tour.
Great.
I'll go.
Yeah.
If you want to give that away, I will Instagram live with somebody, one-on-one, have them as a video, and they and I will have a chat, and I will take them they will be my virtual guest in the nerd lair, and you know what? I'll create a cocktail for them, and then I'll send it to them ahead of time, and we will drink it together.
Love it. Julie, are you writing this down? Because he also said like 14 other things. I was really hoping you were writing it down. And also, Miss Gingerlocks, thank you very much. Election Day is actually October 20th for mail-in ballots if you want to make sure your vote is counted, because they're saying a 14-day trip.
Yes.
And she's going to hand hers in person, not taking any chances. I also had someone talking about how they were going to do a certificate of delivery, which I'm not sure how that works, but it's something I would look into.
Yeah, I like
Robin
to
Allison,
know that my vote has already
tour.
been in and counted on Election Day, as opposed to I sent it in on Election Day, and then it might get counted 3 or 4 days later, or a week later.
And it needs to be received. It
want it on the day, and I want to know it got there.
To register to vote by mail in advance of everyone is different, but most of those dates are in October. So it
Yeah.
now.
Yes,
I'm already
and you can follow
registered.
us here, and
They
we
will
post all
send me
that
my
good stuff.
ballot. Yeah.
So
I hope I'm pointing to the link.
you are. It's perfect. It's like you've done this before. It's absolutely perfect. Your fingers are just right there. Robin, Allison, you will get the Nerd Lair tour. Just start registering people.
Get somebody
We'll talk.
registered to vote, and I will give you the Nerd Lair tour.
That's right. And a special stash smash cocktail.
Yeah, we'll make the Stash Smash or the My Todd.
Nice. That's awesome. Guys, there's options. Todd, we have to wrap this up because the
I know it'll kick
fun
us off.
fact is that they do. And we've
I
gotten
know.
kicked off before.
I get it.
And it's
Because we're
It's
blabbermouths.
awkward. It's real
Show
awkward.
them the bell, Todd. Somebody wants to see the bell. All right, so we'll close with that. There it is. If you've watched 12 Monkeys, you know what this is.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
The closing bell.
So, yeah. It's the bell. It's Die Glock. Yep. So there you go. I showed the bell. And we'll tell
Maybe
stories.
you can hold
I'll
the
tell you
bell
12
and
Monkey
sign us
stories
off.
on that. Yeah. I will hold the bell.
Can you maybe
Climb the
hold the bell
steps.
and sign us off?
What do I say? Signing
Just
off.
whatever you
for
want to
Nerds
say.
Vote.
Say
My name is Todd Stashwick. Vote. The future depends on it. 12 Monkeys. Save the future. See, that worked. That was good, right?
see? It was perfect.
Love you, miss you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Todd. We'll have you on again.
I'll be back.
Julie,
Thanks, Todd.
not everyone has to sing, Julie. Thank you, Todd.
Don't you forget about me. There I sang.
Okay, see, everyone's going to sing now. This is our new thing. And one more question. Happy Film Man wants to know, did you walk off set with it?
No. Terry Metalis brought that to me personally. I have several other artifacts that if you get somebody to register to vote, I'll show them to you.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Check in with us on Instagram. Let us know. Post #NerdsVote, and we will get this all together. And there will be a Nerd Lair drinking tour.
Yes.
It'll be fantastic.
I'll do it. All right.
Thank you. Thanks so much for
Bye, you
watching,
guys.
guys. We'll see you on Thursday with the amazing. Are you gonna say it, JP? Felicia Day.
Felicia. Oh, see, now I've just been eclipsed.
But Thursdays will always be 2 o'clock, so check us out there.
Love it.
2 o'clock with Felicia Day.
I love Felicia. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Guys, you are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Tuesday with Felicia at 2 o'clock PST. He'll be driving. I'll be the man in the box. And please make sure that you guys vote and get registered and register your friends. That's all we got this week.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you Thursday.
Bye, guys.